I'm Victor Muisio. This is the Football Planet live on Africanews, your Pan-African channel. Coming up for you, the writing is on the wall for the 2017-2018 UEFA Champions League and the UEFA Europa League after the full draws were conducted last week. Who faces who? Details on that coming up. FIFA has appointed a committee to run crisis-hit Cameroonian football as doubts grow over the country's ability to host the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. Now, Cameroonian journalist Adjumani Akame will be joining us later in the show to give us a lowdown of the current state of affairs in the land of Makossa and Bikuti. Sudanese football is recovering fast after a recent FIFA ban was lifted. We've prepared a report on that. And finally, Kenya is in the brink of losing the hosting rights of the 2018 CHAN, which is just 4 months away. Details on that coming up later in the show. Welcome once again to the Football Planet on Africanews. Now, the draw for the group stage of the 2017-2018 Champions League has thrown up some fascinating fixtures, eagerly awaited reunions and intriguing rematches, as only 2 teams out of the 32 will be seeking a ticket to the final in the Olympijski Stadium in Kyiv, Ukraine, on May the 26th next year. Now, as usual, the clubs were split into 4 seeded pots of 8, with each group comprised of 1 from each, and all sides from the same association facing one another. However, some sides will be far much happier than others after Thursday's draw and the ceremony in Monaco. Let's have a look at the tables. And the final for the Europa League will be held in Stade de Lyon in France on May the 16th next year. Let's now have a look at the tables in the Europa League. Now, with only just 4 months to go to the 5th edition of the CHAN, which is expected to be hosted in Kenya, concerns have continued to be raised on the country's readiness to host the tournament. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, had given Kenya until the end of August to demonstrate their preparedness, but only one venue, that's the Kasarani Stadium in the capital, Nairobi, has been given a clean bill of health. So far, the country has failed to put all the structures in good shape, and a team of CAF inspectors are expected in the country on September the 7th to deliver the not-so-shocking news that would be stripping Kenya of the hosting rights. 2 countries have reportedly been put by CAF on standby as we await the CAF's final verdict on Kenya. Morocco, Ethiopia, and Cote d'Ivoire have already expressed serious interest in hosting the event, and are waiting in anticipation of news that Kenya is stripped of the hosting rights. Now, we are going to touch base with a Kenyan sports journalist, Amos Abuga, who's familiar with the goings-on in the country's football. Now, hello, Amos. Thanks for joining us. CAF seems worried about the progress in as far as CHAN 2018 preparations are concerned. Do you think these worries are genuine?
I'll start by saying I think they are justified. From what we are seeing at the moment is that, especially in terms of facilities, the facilities that were mapped towards the CHAN Championship, no much work has been done. We are talking about venues in Cameroon, in Meru County. Nyayo Stadium, which is one of the second largest stadium in the country, in Nairobi. You have to join a team in Eldoret, and even the Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi also. Not much work done when talking about the recommendations given by CAF.
And Amos, has there been any reaction from the Kenyan government or even the Football Kenya Federation, that's the FKF, concerning this?
Yeah, I talked to the sports minister, who is Dr. Hassan Wario, yesterday. What he said was we should please what CAF is saying as rumors, because Kenya, he was so certain that Kenya was going to host the CHAN championship. He said that he personally has gone to the venues, the state venues, and the work is almost done, saying that by less than 2 weeks' time, most of the work will have been completed. So, according to him, there's nothing like the venue being moved from Kenya to Morocco or South Africa, the countries that have been sounded wanting to get ready to host the championship.
And it doesn't seem there is a lot of excitement from Kenyan football lovers and fans about the country hosting the event. So, Amos, do you think Kenyans really value this competition?
And that's by saying that Kenyans value sport so much, and the CHAN is no exception. Kenyans don't want to be over-expectant. If I may take you back to 1996 Africa Cup of Nations, whereby Kenya was supposed to host the championship, the Africa Cup of Nations. In the 11th hour, the event was taken to South Africa.
That was Amos Abuga, a sports journalist from Kenya, speaking to us from the country's capital, Nairobi. Cameroon may be the reigning champions of Africa, but the team apparently had to break through a lot of noise to take the honors. More reason to even congratulate them. The country's troubled Cameroon Football Federation has been in wrangles since 2015. Now, this crisis has prompted the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, to set up a normalization committee to run FECAFOOT's daily affairs, draft new statutes, and organize elections for the new executive committee by the end of February next year. Now, on the line, we are joined by our football journalist, Adjumani Aka from Cameroon, to talk about this. Hello, Adjumani. Thanks for standing by. Now, FIFA's intervention comes amid speculation Cameroon could be stripped of hosting the next Africa Cup of Nations in June-July 2019. Now, do you think FECAFOOT wars have anything to do with the country's ill preparation to host the championships in 2019?
Not at all, not at all. The problems at FECAFOOT, the Cameroon FC FECAFOOT, are as old as the body itself. If you follow Cameroon football keenly, you will notice that this is not the first time that the Cameroon FC has been placed under a normalization committee or an interim body. It is the third time in under 2 decades and the second time in just 3 years that the Cameroon FC is under a normalization committee from FIFA. We can recall that Cameroon went to the 2014 World Cup, the normalization committee at its head, so it is not strange. The problems that have been there, and there is nothing to do with the problems that have been there, have nothing to do with the preparations for the 2019 African Cup of Nations. If as consequence for the Nations Cup, the government of Cameroon should rather take responsibility for the pace of the works. If the pace is slow or fast, the government should shoulder the majority of the blame. The government builds the infrastructure that is supposed to host or to be used for the competition, and not the Cameroon FC.
Well, that was Adjumani Akame. Adjumani is a top football journalist based in Douala, Cameroon. Now, still on football regulation issues, Sudan is just emerging from a FIFA ban. The Bureau of the FIFA Council on July 13th lifted the suspension that was imposed on the Sudanese Football Federation, the SFA, on July 6th over government interference. But after the ban, both the federation and the players are ready to go places. We have prepared the following report for you. After the lifting of its suspension by FIFA in July, the Sudanese Football Association (SFA) reaffirms the ambitions of the nation to go for global and continental accolades. Diego Garzito, the technical director and coach of Sudanese club El Merreikh, praises the current physical shape of his players. He says that the club's performance is on the rise since the suspension was lifted. For him, El Merreikh would be ready for the next CAF Champions League competition in 2018, especially thanks to intense physical exercises and numerous friendly matches recently organized.
It's true that
the situation is interesting since Friday evening. We know that we have qualified. We won on the outside. Now we need to continue our Champions League program by winning and trying to show all our fans and all those watching that Merreikh today is a good team and a great one for that matter. The preparation is normal. We try to pay attention to the small issues that the players have. We are doing our best. The July ban on Sudan meant the disqualification of the Omdurman heavyweights, Al Hilal and Al Merreikh, both of whom were drawn together in Group A of the Champions League. Al Hilal and El Merreikh sit joint top of the log in the Sudanese top division league, although Hilal have a superior goal difference. And now on to the Russia 2018 qualifiers. Ivory Coast coach Marc Wilmots recalled striker Max Gradel and defender Brice Dja Djedje for back-to-back World Cup qualifiers against Gabon on September 2nd and September 5th, this coming weekend. Gradel, who plays for Toulouse in France, hasn't featured for the national team since the Africa Cup of Nations in January and February, when the Ivory Coast were deposed as continental champions. Watford's Dja Djedje is also back after a lengthy absence. Let's have a look at the upcoming fixtures this weekend for the Russia 2018 qualifiers. Well, that does it for today. I'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Remember, you can always find these and other stories in the world of sport on our website, www.africanews.com/sport. Until next time.